Y'all wonder why I go so hard for marriages? Because of this here. There was a question that I saw on the internet about what was the craziest thing you ever seen in church with your own eyes. The craziest thing I ever seen and with my own eyes in the church was a possessed woman. And we hear about it, but it's one thing to hear about it and it's another thing to actually witness it. And I was surprised to later find out in life that a lot of people have never seen a possessed person in person. A lot of people never seen demonic things happen in person. That's crazy to me. As a body of a believer, that's what we deal with. Spiritual warfare. That stuff ain't just talk. That stuff is real. So I go so hard for marriages because I know the importance and the sacredness that God intended for it to be. When I was about 10 years old or somewhere around there, I witnessed a possessed woman. Before the spirit manifested, she was the real her. She was very nice and kind, and you just would never think that. And I was a kid, so it was none of my business, but she had a boyfriend, right? She brought him to church every time she came to church. Real sweet lady. As a 10-year-old, I would never think nothing like this of her. But one day, of course, the spirit was high in the church, and that spirits, should I say, manifested. There were several demons in her. They got out about anywhere from 15 to 17, something like that, something crazy like that. What's crazy is they couldn't get them all out. Not because they didn't have the power to do so, the power of Jesus Christ to do so, but the woman was legally binded to a man that she was married to. They've been separated for some time, but she still was legally married to, which, when you legally get married, you're spiritually connected to that person. And the man that she was legally married to did witchcraft. One flesh. One flesh. That's not talking about one flesh naturally. Because how can my flesh mend with his flesh naturally? That's a spiritual thing. Y'all literally become one. That's why sometimes in a marriage, the problems that he had, now you have. Or the problems that you had, now he has. One flesh. That's why it's important that spouses cover each other. Because they're dealing with some spiritual things. And you're dealing with some spiritual things. And if y'all are not careful, those spiritual things come together. And now y'all are against each other. So yes, your walk with Christ is an individual walk. I cannot on Judgment Day say, well, my husband, and blame everything on my husband. Because it's my responsibility to get it together.